Hey guys, this is Gaming Boo and today I'm gonna talk about Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty and Starfield. Yeah, I am gonna compare these two games according to my experience with these two games. I have completed Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty main story and I have also played around 45 to 50 hours of Starfield, and I would like to share the differences that I felt with these two games and I hope you can relate to it. So an intro is really important for a game because it gives you a bigger picture of what you are going to play for the next 20 to 30 hours. And Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty really does a great justice to the intro. They started with a bang. You have just been called by your friend. That friend is also an agent of a president and she told you that she needs your help because the president is in a plane which is going to crash. That's how you start a game. That's create a really big excitement, and you go there. There is another whole picture, plane crashing, fighting starts to begin, whole gun shootouts, the whole scene, the whole music, the whole vibe. That intro, that was so rocking. I really loved that and I got so excited for the game. And on the other hand, Starfield has a really dull, dim kind of an intro. Nothing very exciting happened. You just are a miner. By a chance you found out some artifact and that artifact show you some musical and universal things, stars and all that. Then you meet Sarah, then she's a constellation crew person, then she asks you to join also there and to solve some universal puzzles. So this kind of doesn't excite you much, right? It's kind of a boring thing, and this is not how you start a game. You have to start it with a bang. You have to show the best part of your game to get the people excited for what they are going to play. That's what you should do in the intro, and you should have done that. So the second thing I'm gonna talk about is the character details, how they look, how they speak, what is their gesture while speaking. It really affects a lot on your gaming experience because all the time you are talking with those characters and you really want to feel real while interacting with them because it's a whole game, it's a whole story game. There is also a story going on. You want things to be like you are watching a movie. This is 2023, this is not 2015. So what I'm trying to say is in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty I really felt like that way ki the characters were really making me feel like I'm watching a movie. They were so cool. Their gesture is so perfect, as if it's a real character that I'm talking to. So that's a really cool thing that they have done. While in Starfield the things are totally opposite. The characters and the animations that they have given to them while they are speaking, their gestures while they are speaking is totally low. It makes me feel like they are being forced to speak and it doesn't look that much of a natural. I don't know. It's not 2015, it's 2023. If it would be 2015 then that's a good thing, but now it's 2023 and you should make things look more real, more improved, but I didn't find that in Starfield. So if we talk about the main story, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty really does an excellent job because the main story is good actually, and the best part is throughout the whole game they never bored you with the main story. The story keeps on getting exciting. There are a lot of surprises. You are eager to know what is going to happen next. So that's what we want from the main story. It should never get boring and it should be exciting all the time, and that's what they have done. So it's an excellent work done by Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. I really love that. And in Starfield the main story is also good. It's quite good, but the problem here is there are a lot of gaps in between. The story takes a lot of time to get its pace, then it also get a lot slower in between. So it's kind of you have to push yourself to be in the main story of the game. So that's what the problem is with this game's story. So yeah, but I'm not saying the story is bad, but I would say ki Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty has a much better way of progressing through the main story as compared to the Starfield. Yeah, there is one really important thing I want to talk separately about this Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty is that sometimes there is a lot of gap between combats. For example, you did one combat, you killed your enemies, then there is a lot of time gap, then the other combat will start after a long time. So we as a gamers really want some really quick time to time combat boosters because we love to do that. Of course we know ki the main story is really good and we are really interested, but we also need that combat, that fights in between very quick. We want to fight, we want to shoot enemies, we really feel good in that. And what I found in this Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, they have given a long gaps between some combats, so they are doing a lot of planning and stuffs to infiltrate the enemies and then the combat will happen. But how they are doing all that shit is really cool stuff. It really feels so much crazy to me, like a real sci-fi detective technological movie, how they are planning and trying to infiltrate the enemy, that I really forgot about the combats because that thing was so real and amazing, as if I am in a real detective Mission Impossible kind of a movie. That was so cool how they are using the technology, how they are using each and every details. Those shits are really cool that they have done. It's like the top moment of the game. The Cyberpunk has really done a good job in there, and there are a very less amount of game that really hooked us up without even the combats for some time. So that is a really pretty big thing. So if I talk about traveling in both of these games, I would say I would prefer to travel on bike in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty on the road rather than being traveling in the space using the spaceship in Starfield, because that shit is really boring. The spaceship in the Starfield are the most boring stuffs, I really don't care about those things in the game. Even the spaceship combats, I really don't care. A bit of thing that I like about is, you know, changing ship components or buying new ships, but that didn't even hit me much. But I would say I love to travel on my bike on the road in Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty. Even if the distance is 4 km, 5 km, instead of fast traveling, I would love to travel on the bike, because that is a really good and amazing experience. You can do your cool stuffs with your bike or even with your car. It feels really good, you know, the drift and everything, and it really hits you. It really feels real. I love that. See, there were good variety of weapons in both of these games, and shootings also feel great. So I enjoyed shooting enemies with different weapons in both of these games, and they are both good in their own way. With the weapons, they have all kinds of weapons. I was really addicted to shooting enemies in both of these games. So talking about the AI and enemies in both of these games, I would say Cyberpunk had a really good AI. They have a really smart AI, and in Starfields, you know, the enemies are really easy to kill, except the spaceships. They are a bit tough, okay? But the enemies, the bugs, the insects that are there, I think they are very easy to kill. They have not a very good sense of their own mind, and in Cyberpunk, I found it really tough sometimes to kill it if I played on hard difficulty. And in Starfield, I was playing it on hard, and it was very easy to kill the enemies. I never found them very tough. And I would really like to put lights on the music that Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty has given. It's so amazing. Like whenever the combat starts suddenly, even when there is some really good boss that you are hiding from, or you know, they will give the perfect music at the perfect moment which you were not expecting. So that is a really great thing that they have done. I like every time they put some really great music on at a really, you know, great moment, it really hits me hard, and I'm like, yeah, oh my god, that's the feeling. That really excites me. Yeah. And in Starfield, I would say the music didn't really picked me up onto that level. It was like okay, things were like okay, some at some places it was good. I'm not saying it's bad all the time. And there is one problem in both of these games that I sometimes, you know, that sometimes irritates me, is the inventory capacity. You have less of an inventory capacity, and you have to keep on checking on the inventory, and you know, removing items, adding items. So those kind of things you have to do. You have to manage your inventory space all the time, you know. So that sometimes gets a bit irritating. In both of these game it has, I think, and Starfield it has, you know, you have to do it more often. I have taken around 14 hours to complete the main story of Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty, and the time that I got bored is around like just 30 minutes to 1 hour. In between there was some side quest I have to do to progress into the main story. So that part I really hate, and it was a bit boring. And I have played Starfield for 45 hours, and it got bored me for 15 hours. So the other 30 hours were quite good. I am not saying that Starfield is very bad. There is no hate for Starfield. I have also posted a video in which I am talking about why Starfield is not that bad as much as people are hating it. But as compared to Phantom Liberty wins. But at some places, for example, I would say at side quest, the Starfield really has a good side quest. So Starfield is basically the kind of game which takes a lot of time to get yourself hooked into the game, and even if I am not sure that you will feel really good about that game, but I can say कि Phantom Liberty will hit you really good, and it is a good game.